All right, let me get this straight. We spend 4 years in high school under the immense pressure of every grade we will get will impact our college acceptance. We spend years preparing for a standardized test that will determine if we are smart enough or a good enough test taker to be accepted into a top choice college. We spend years being told that a four-year university is the only option post high school if you want to be successful and get a job one day. Then, after all that, we receive no mental health support or life skills to cope with the intense amount of stress, rejection, and fear that comes with the process. Then, if we go to a four-year university, we spend 4 years under the immense pressure of exploiting every opportunity, class, internship, and job to be hired in a good enough paying job to start paying off our student debt. Yet, there is no formal education on developing life skills to cope with the pressure and stress that comes with life, or to teach you how to reach out for help, or to care for ourselves or maintain mental well-being. Welcome to Normalize the Conversation. I'm your host, Francesca Regater, and today I'm joined by Melissa Foulks, a licensed marriage and family therapist practicing virtually in California. Join us as we explore the stress and pressures associated with the pre- and post-college life, from applying to colleges to finding a job post-graduation. Sarah, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to learn more about you and your story, but before we begin, I really just want to check in with you. How are you really?
I am doing well. I am making it. I think that, that's what life's all about, is just taking each day as it comes and existing. So I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited.
I'm very excited. And I feel that recently I've realized that it is just getting through day by day, taking what you've learned today, using it for tomorrow, and messing up a million times and figuring it out, and just literally surviving and existing is what it's like day to day.
I like that I like what you said, where it's okay to mess up. That is literally so important, because that is where growth happens.
Yeah. And it's like those mess ups are kind of what inspires different paths and new things. I know for me, what inspired my nonprofit was literally a mental breakdown. That was from not knowing how to care for myself, not knowing how to cope, not knowing how to talk about it. So all these little mess ups led to something really great. So it's really nice when you're able to get to that point where you can just accept that those mess ups happen and you get to learn, and hopefully something good comes out of it.
I definitely agree with that. I feel that very much.
Yeah. So you have created Tattoo Chef. Tell me a little more about.
For sure. Tattoo Chef is a plant-based food brand that was created in 2017. I really wanted to create a brand that makes us feel a little bit more connected to each other and the world that we share. And I went to Italy. I was just trying to reconnect with my Italian roots. And I saw such amazing camaraderie in the kitchen in Italy. And I really wanted to bring all of that into the United States and kind of mix that culture and Los Angeles culture together. And the Tattoo Chef was created.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm also Italian. My last name doesn't make it seem that way, but I love Italian food. And one thing that people always say to me is, in Italy, it's so different. My younger cousin was there recently, and she's like, the food feels lighter when you eat it. It's so different than the Italian food you're eating here.
It's so true. I think that there's just such a process in Italy that is so organic, and that you don't necessarily have that here. Every single ingredient that comes from Italy, or even the care that each ingredient is thought about in a dish, is just so different.
And for me, that's something that's so important, especially as of recently. So being a caregiver for my grandmother, I like to be very mindful of the food I'm giving her, because different chemicals and ingredients really can progress things like Alzheimer's. Also can lead to more mental health struggles can raise your blood pressure. She has an issue with high blood pressure. So I try to be very mindful of all the ingredients. And let me tell you, I thought buying frozen vegetables, so you microwave in a bag, was the healthiest option. It is not. There's first of all corn syrup in crackers, everything I question everything now.
Yeah, I think it's okay to question everything. And I think that it's important to really take a look at your labels. And I think there are a lot of companies out there that are doing things very transparently I think Tattooed Chef does things very transparently. And I think that that's important to really take a look at what that nutrition fact panel says. And everything that we consume is very important. And I always like to tell people that I think that, like, you know, I mean, there's something about the way that we feel when we eat things versus like the way that we look. And I think that those are always really important messages to communicate, that like what we eat really makes us feel a certain way. And like, I hear that, like really understanding and wanting to trust the food that you're eating and giving to your loved ones.
Yeah. And it does make you feel like either really good and light and like healthy and energetic, or it can make you feel really fatigued, kind of down. I realized that recently I started trying to play tennis, and I am not light on my feet or graceful in any way, shape, or form. And I realized that, okay, if I'm eating like a granola bar that's maybe full of a bunch of different chemicals and everything right before playing, I am even like heavier on my feet. I can't move as well. I'm feeling like a little bit in my stomach. I'm just tired, not energized, versus if I have maybe like a bowl of fruit and some granola that maybe I made at home, like just different things that I can feel a little bit lighter and upbeat, and I'm more willing to perform well.
Yes, definitely. I think that there's something said to that. We launched a Tattooed Chef oat butter bar, and we have it packed with adaptogens. And I feel like adaptogens are such a phenomenal, natural way of mood boosting. And so that's something that is pretty close to me personally, because I've been through some health scares in the past year or two. And I really found adaptogens to be really helpful for me in getting through my days.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that you've gone through so many health scares in the past few years, but to see that you found something that's been helping you and then you're able to take that to help others is amazing. It really takes all of us putting in the work, learning things, and then being willing to share it and to create better options, right? Because most of us just don't know. I mean, until I knew, I didn't know. I didn't know I needed to know anything. I just thought like, if it said organic, it was perfect to eat and it was fine. I thought like, I didn't know how to read a label. I was so mad when I realized I went through so many years of like physical education, and I had to watch movies that maybe like try to put a point into your head, but didn't explain how to use that in the real world. And I was like, why did no one make me learn how to read a label? How to read like those numbers on the plastic? Like no one taught me what those chemicals meant. I was so like frustrated and overwhelmed that this education is important. And if no one's talking about it, we're never going to learn and move forward.
That is such a great point. I love that you bring up that there does need to be some sort of education behind what that looks like, because like majority, of course, like I'm in the food business, like I know how that exists, but you know, we've had to really see that there is an education that's needed when communicating what's in products. And that's such a great call out.
Yeah, it's so important. And there's not a lot of transparency. There's not a lot of conversations. There's so much opportunity for growth and for room for development and improvement. So with you and what you've created with Tattooed Chef, what are some of the ways that you're showing transparency? What kind of ingredients are you using that's helping people?
Yeah, so I'm crazy about the ingredients that we use in our products, because I very much understand that I want to create products that like you do want to give to your loved ones. And so if I continue to think that way, I think that it helps me understand what kind of ingredients I want to incorporate in my product. So like, if you look at our labels, we do like a lot of like bowls, or we do a lot of pizzas, we do a lot of mac and cheese items and stuff. And so I think if you look on the panels, there's not a ton of ingredients. And I think that that's really helpful, because when you look on the back of like ingredients and you see like 100 ingredients and you're just eating like something that should be so simple, I think that can feel a little concerning. So I think that we use just very simple ingredients. The majority of our ingredients come from fields in Italy that we contract, and we incorporate that into our products. So there's definitely a lot of healthier nutrients that comes from the soils in Italy. And that's what we're really focused on.
Oh, I absolutely love that. It's so important. First of all, like you said, I hate when I'm in the grocery store and I'm looking at things and there's a million things in the ingredients. I'm like, I have no time to read through all of these to see if like specific things are in there. I went and got an MRT panel done like a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now. Time's flown. Wow. Okay, so
yeah,
just realized how much time has passed.
Yeah.
And I learned what foods are sensitive to my body. So I may not completely avoid everything on that list, but I try to be very mindful when I can be. So I'll go to the store, I'll look at a box or whatever, and it's just full of all these things. I'm like, I do not have time to sit here and read this. And that's making that decision. How bad do I want this? This sounds good. Do I really want to put this in my body? Do I want to spend the next 10 minutes trying to understand what these words mean? And it just makes everything feel so complicated. So to see that you're able to kind of simplify the ingredients, stuff that people can understand what it is, that they don't have to spend an hour reading through that list and trying to figure it out, is so helpful.
Yes, like you said, food should not be complicated. It doesn't need to be complicated. And a lot of other companies complicate things. So yeah, I think just like simple, really great, good for you ingredients is what to focus on. And listen, like at the end of the day, it's okay if like somebody wants to eat like pizza or a cheeseburger, like, you know, go do what you need to do. Like, you know, it's like, as long as like, you know, that like, that's going to make you feel a certain way. And then you go on and you eat something, and like this food just makes us feel certain ways in certain moments of time. And it's like, there's no judgment as far as like how it goes with like what you consume, like go do you know what I'm saying? And just like make sure that there's some sort of like moderation in how you are existing in that.
Yes, I think it's about being very mindful, right, of how you feel when you're eating.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm like, I love pizza. If you put a pizza in front of me,
Same.
like, right? Pizza's so good. I made pizzas last night and I ate a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I don't have good self-control of pizza. I'm very well aware of that, which is why I very rarely, like, unless I know that the next day I don't have to be at tennis, I don't have to be running around all day, that I don't have to be doing all these things, that I can just kind of relax and like not have to move too much because my body is going to feel a lot heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Half of it is ingredients. Half of it is the fact that I ate an entire pizza, which I shouldn't have done, right? It's like maybe I overate a bit. My body's trying to process a lot of it. So it's being very mindful that I know I'm not going to have the energy the next day. So being aware that like, hey, I love this food, I want to eat it, like more power to you. Eat what you want, what makes you feel happy and good. But being aware that, hey, maybe tomorrow I'm going to have to make my schedule a little bit lighter, or later today I might not be able to go for that run, and that's okay.
Exactly. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is such a great message.
And one thing I do want to really talk to you about is plant-based. So I know for me personally, I tried multiple times to go plant-based, to be vegan, to be vegetarian, and there was not a lot of education and I didn't know how to access information on how to do it in a healthy way for my body. So I didn't know how to get enough protein. I didn't know how to make sure I was getting enough vitamins and minerals. I didn't know what supplements. So the first few times I tried, I really struggled, started to not feel great. Then I started to get a little bit more information, but I still wasn't doing it properly. So when you're creating like plant-based foods, what are some maybe important ingredients that kind of help replace or offset what you would get from maybe like meat or dairy?
Yeah, I think that this is a great conversation because I think a lot of bodies are different and we consume and feel different based off of different diets. And I think that that's okay that plant-based might not be for everybody. Because like, it's okay that if you want to, if you need to incorporate other pieces to sustain a certain level of energy or feeling a certain type of way, that's okay, because everybody is different. I think for us, we really try to incorporate, just like a ton of veggies, and we don't necessarily, although our products do have meat alternatives, we tend to go towards more of like the real protein. So like beans have a ton of protein, and then like mixing that with tofu and mixing ingredients together kind of gives you more of like a fulfilling nutritional meal. that actually makes you feel full at the end of the day. And so that's what we're just trying to do as far as like incorporating a bunch of different ingredients to get you to that fullness that is needed to be reached. I think at Tattooed Chef, we never like want people to feel like they need to just like feel pigeonholed in that way where they can like, look at, I wanted to create this brand so people can feel like they can eat less meat in their life. And we were making an impact and a difference. And it's okay however somebody's diet looks, and just incorporating a little bit less meat into your diet. That's what we're all about.
I love that. And I love the point of like creating meals that make you feel full.
Yes.
Full of different foods and nutrients, everything that makes you feel full. Because I know for me, when I tried to switch to a completely plant-based diet the first time, I was like, okay, I can only eat salads. But it wasn't like a full salad that had ingredients in it. It was like romaine lettuce with tomatoes and cucumbers. And then like I put lemon juice on it. And I'd be like, why am I not full? Like, why don't I have energy? Why is this not working for me? Why do I feel like I'm going to pass out? And the first time around, I was like, well, this just isn't for me. But I had no like education awareness on why that wasn't working. I was 17 at the time, and I thought like that's what it was. So being very aware that it is about getting enough into your body to make you feel good, to make you feel strong, whether or not that includes dairy, meat, whatever you want to include. It's always about making sure you're putting in enough to your body that makes you feel the way you want to feel.
Exactly. And I think that like what's so important is like we create items that are still giving you like the fat that's needed in product. Like, because like when you eat a piece of meat or when you eat a piece of chicken, like there's fat there. So like we use a lot of coconut oil, which has a lot of that fat. So it's bringing that in. So like knowing how to bring in all those other like elements into a plant-based meal is important to then feel like you're getting substance.
Yes. Oh, I just bought coconut oil and I had no idea like why I bought it, to be honest. I was like, I saw it, I think on maybe an Instagram or TikTok post as an ingredient in something. And I was like, I need coconut oil. And I think I've used it once so far because I have no idea like how to use it yet. I really should like look up recipes and what you can replace it with. So tell me more about coconut oil and what I can use it for, because it's sitting in my pantry waiting for me.
I mean, honestly, it's such a great substitute for a lot of different oils that we have. I think that like to be mindful with coconut oils that it does have a lot of fat, so like a lot of saturated fat. So you do want to be using it in moderation. But I think that like it serves as such a great like fat alternative for supplementing the healthy fats that you need, if that makes sense. Yeah.
That does make sense. And see, the more you know. And I think that's why these conversations are so important, because it's not enough just to hear the name of something, an ingredient, and then be like, okay, I need to incorporate this, and not know how, not to know, oh, that maybe I do need to be careful with how much I consume. And I think that goes for everything, like everything we eat, there is a limit on how much we should consume in one day. Because I mean, everything has some kind of sugars, or I don't know. I feel like fruit has a lot of sugars, and I thought I could eat like every fruit all day, every day, and feel like great about life. Not true, by the way. Found out that there is a lot of sugar in fruit if that's the only thing you eat all day, every day. Who knew? So I think that's why it's so important to have these conversations, so you can learn what to look out for, how to use things, what they're used for, and to grow and hopefully find new recipes or foods that make you happy.
Yeah. And like, I think also like everybody is so different. So like everything's going to affect somebody differently. Like every food is going to do something different for you in a good way, in a negative way, and just always listening to your body and like listening to those pings of like what's making you feel great and what's not making you feel great. And if like whatever that looks like to you.
Yeah. And I mean, so what are some examples and maybe things to be mindful of, like, oh, this food is not making me feel great? Because I think a lot of times there's so much confusion as to, why is my stomach hurting? Why am I so tired? Is it this? Is it this? So what are maybe just some indicators to look at, like the food that you're eating?
I think the indicator is like yourself, you know, like if sometimes like, cause like a lot of different diets, like people talk about how nightshades aren't good for you. And that's like, you know, tomato mushrooms. So like really paying attention, like if you do eat that, is it making you feel a certain way? Is your stomach a little bit more bloated than typical? Then maybe that's not something that's good for you. And so it's like, there's just so many different elements and levels of what that may look like for somebody. I think also like gluten is a great call out. Like gluten really affects a lot of people, and really paying attention to how your body's reacting to that. And if you think that there's a bigger issue, then to go and get the testing that's needed to see if like you do have celiac disease, or if there's something like bigger going on there. The new thing is like lectins, like really making like, you know, people are saying that like lectins aren't so great for you in your diet. I don't know like how valid that is today. I think there's still a lot of research that's being done on that. But there are so many different things that we could be looking at, and really paying attention to your body and seeing what is actually really making you feel good and not good.
Yeah. And like you said, like your body, paying attention to you, because just because like the nightshades don't work for other people doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Just because someone else can't eat gluten doesn't mean that that's not something that's going to go well with your body.
Exactly.
So think about being very, very mindful that, of course, listen to what other people's experiences are so you can learn like, hey, that's something to look out for. Or I wonder if that's maybe why my stomach's feeling bloated, or I don't have a lot of energy. But not to be like, oh, well, they said that this isn't good for them, so now it's not good for me, and that's it. Because like you said, everyone's body is different. And I know for a lot of me and my friends, we love to like jump on TikTok and see someone say something and we're like, okay, that's true. Like, that's it. Everything happening on TikTok. And I mean, I love when I go down the rabbit holes and I'm on TikTok all night trying to figure out what's happening. I think most of my TikTok's Taylor Swift at this point, but sometimes it's like food recipes. I'm like, oh, this person says that you should always have this with this, or you should replace your salad dressings with like fresh squeezed lemon. And I'm like, okay, that's all I'm going to do. These are all changes I'm going to make. And then I was like, okay, I'm actually putting a lot of citrus into my body and not anything to really absorb it. And now it's very acidic and it's not going well with my body and I'm having heartburn. But I thought, oh, because I saw this on TikTok and someone said that this is what they do, then that's it. That's what I got to do. But I mean, it's cool to try new things. I love trying new things, but being very mindful that, hey, how is that affecting my body? Do I feel good making this decision? Oh, do I like this recipe, but maybe I can't have it every day? Just being very mindful of yourself.
Yeah. And I think that like sometimes like seeing so many different things like that people are doing can feel like so like daunting and like just like, well, where do I start? Where do I begin? And I think like you said, like just trying things and seeing how it works. Like that's what it's all about. Don't feel overwhelmed about all this information coming to you and thinking to yourself, I'm doing this wrong. Like that's not the case. Like you get to decide what that looks like for yourself.
Yes, exactly. You get to make these decisions for you, for your body. And it's important to know that it's okay to not know. It's okay to try and have trial and error. Like we said in the beginning, right? We're going to make mistakes. We're going to try things. We're going to try new recipes to find out that, hey, I don't know how to cook this at all. It happens to me a lot. Or like, hey, I like this food, but I don't know how to prepare in a way that makes me feel good and makes me feel full, because maybe I love eating, like I love salad. So once I realized salads were like tasted good, I was like, wow, like who knew? But I wasn't putting anything in it. Like I said, I put like lemon on it as the dressing, and I'd put like tomato and cucumber, and that was it. But then I learned, oh, I could add some sweet potato into there. I could add some beans. I could add some cheese or meat if I wanted to. I could add all these different pieces and make a big salad that has a bunch of different ingredients in it that I still feel really good eating, but now I'm full and I'm not feeling exhausted and feel like I'm going to pass out all day. So I think it's all about like trial and error, figuring out what does work for you and being okay with making mistakes.
Definitely. What is your favorite salad?
Okay, so recently I've been on like a salad kick. So I've been prepping salads for me and my friends for like the past month. That's my personal favorite right now. So I do romaine lettuce, and then I add in some arugula and spinach. And I like it chopped. I don't like when the pieces are big, I've learned. I like when it's nice and chopped, really small. So then I like tomato, cucumber, carrots. I like beet hummus. Never realized I would want beet hummus. Very specific.
Okay.
I love a purple sweet potato or like the golden Hannah sweet potatoes. Those are really good. Makes such a difference to me for some reason. I like the cannellini beans or pinto beans, and I like to like saute them first with some like, it's like I have this root vegetable seasoning that I put in it that I love. And then I love to do dressing with lemon, olive oil. I have to think now. Oh, I put a little bit of honey because I needed it a little sweeter because the lemon was very like citrusy. Yeah. It's the ingredients are in front of me when I do this. I swear I know what I'm doing.
No, it sounds delicious.
Garlic powder and then a little bit of Himalayan salt. Obsessed. Love it. It's my favorite thing. I make this constantly. But like it took a long time like to figure out what hummus I liked and that I really, really loved. Do you know how many hummuses like I went through before I was like, beet hummus sounds good?
Wild. I've never tried beet hummus before. I feel like I need to try that.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, I love beets personally, so I don't know if like people who don't like beets wouldn't like it, but I feel like everyone should try it. Do you like beets?
I do. I love beets so much.
I love beet hummus.
Okay,
amazing.
I gotta check it out. It's also like, it's probably really beautiful because the color is probably like super purpley.
Yes, it's so pretty. So that with like a purple sweet potato really makes the salad so like aesthetically pleasing.
That sounds yum. That sounds really good.
Yeah, so that's my current favorite. Do you have a favorite dish?
Favorite dish? Oh man. To cook, I love to cook pasta. But like I also eat a lot of salads and wraps. Like I love a good wrap, like with a grain-free tortilla and just like a ton of vegetables and some hummus. I do a red pepper hummus. But I just love a good wrap.
I've really got into wraps too lately.
Yeah, and it's the rabbit hole of wraps.
I actually didn't realize I loved wrap so much till I was in LA one time and I was just exhausted. I had just gone off the plane. I had to be in class in like 2 hours. And like it was 9 a.m. there. And I was like, it's 12 o'clock. It's noon in my brain. Like I was so overwhelmed. And I had no idea what to do. So I just Uber Eats food and I like randomly picked a wrap. Oh my goodness. I became like, wow, love wraps. That's what I want. Like 50% of the time, it's either like a salad or a wrap or my go-to lunches. And like I feel like I put a lot of carbs into my wrap. I'm like, I need sweet potato. I need quinoa. Like I'm just like, I need a nice big tortilla. So I definitely need to be more mindful of how I'm building my wraps because I do feel a little too full afterwards. However, I love it so much.
Yes, there's like that whole, isn't there like a trend where like people are eating a ton of like Caesar salad wraps?
Yes. And that was a thing back when I was in high school, which was a long time ago, by the way. I feel like it might not seem like it was like almost a decade ago. And that was like a huge thing at my school. They had like chicken Caesar wraps and the line would be out the cafeteria door, like wrapped around. People would wait like the full 50-minute lunch period just to get that wrap and eat it every day.
Wild.
Like, that's a big thing for some reason. Personally, I didn't like Caesar salads at that point in time. So I did not like the wrap. I've started to not that I would like order Caesar salad if there were other options, but if that's my option, I will eat it now. Back then, I wouldn't even go near it.
So you still are not really loving it, but like you will do it if it's the only thing on the menu, like only salad on the menu. Okay, got it.
Yeah. That's great. Because I don't know, something about the dressing just is not always like, I feel like really, I don't know, I don't like the dressing. Sometimes I'll have them like, just give me like a fresh squeezed lemon and olive oil. And I'm like, or whatever oil you have in the kitchen, I don't care. Give me oil and give me lemon.
Give me oil, give me lemon. I love that. Sometimes what I'll do for a dressing is instead of lemon, I'll use like a kombucha because it's got like the acidity. So I'll mix that with some oil and that's like really delicious also.
Oh, that sounds really good. So what kind of kombucha? Like, because I know there's all the different flavors. Like, does it matter?
You could use any.
I gotta try this now.
Yeah, it's really good.
You learn by talking about this. You can learn different ingredients, different.
Yeah, there's so much to do.
There's so much to do, so much to try. And like, I really genuinely wish if I could go back in time. Honestly, I want to become like a principal or something, like randomly, just so that I can like change. I don't know who actually makes curriculum. I don't know if it's the principal. It might not be. Whoever job it is to come up with a curriculum for like physical education classes, I want that job and I want to change it. That we like some kind of conversation or education on nutrition. Because I remember freshman year of high school, they made us watch that movie where the guy like eats McDonald's 3 meals a day for a month and like, to see the process of that. But like that was the end of the conversation. And what did I take from that? Go to like Burger King instead of McDonald's. Like that was what I took from it. It was don't eat McDonald's. It had nothing to do with, the ingredients in this food is why eating it 3 times a day for an entire month is maybe not the best option. But here are ways to prepare similar food with different ingredients and being mindful of, hey, this much sodium is in French fries. Are you drinking enough water while having this much sodium? Here is what a normal sodium level looks like. Like, I wish there was a conversation other than like making me so sad that I can't eat like my large fries every day.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out, is like to really like, there does need to be way more conversation surrounding nutrition and our school systems. And like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and even in like the cafeteria, I remember like we had a really good like cafeteria spread. Like we had everything I feel like in the world. We would have strombolis and like the wrap bar. We had like chicken tenders and French fries. We had like grilled cheese, hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, a mini pasta bar. We had like a small salad bar that was in the back that no one was ever at. Like we had all these different options.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It is amazing. Where'd you go to school?
I went to this school in Fort Lauderdale in Florida. It was a private school. Maybe the tuition was worth the food, maybe not.
Yeah.
If I had to pay it instead of my parents, would I have paid for it?
Yeah.
But it was really great for the food, for sure.
Yeah.
So I wish that there was maybe some kind of, these are like the ingredients, or here's like the calorie count and the amount of carbs and sodium and protein. Because I'm thinking, I'm eating a stromboli with all the Italian meats every day. That's protein.
Yeah.
What I'm eating is a lot of sodium, a lot of carbs that are like bread that's bleed. So that's something to be mindful of. Like, I'm eating this every single day. This has a lot of fats in it. No wonder I'm feeling sluggish. But there was never a connection because I thought, well, meat's protein. Mm-hmm. Having some bread is the carbs you need to be able to, as a cheerleader, to be able to tumble. Mm-hmm. But like there was, for some reason, it was so disconnected in my head. I had no idea, like, maybe not.
Yeah, definitely. I hear that.
It's so important that we have these conversations, that we are constantly learning, that we are educating each other. Yeah. And I am so just grateful that people like you exist who are going out there and making more and better options available for us.
That's really sweet. I'm so grateful that you exist. I appreciate it.
Thank you. As we are wrapping up, how can people learn more about Tattooed Chef?
They can follow any of our social medias. We got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Check us out, Tattooed Chef Foods. That's where you can find us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to Normalize the Conversation. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. This podcast is an initiative of Inspiring My Generation, focusing on normalizing the conversation, bringing education and awareness to the forefront, and amplifying global voices to spark change and hope. Inspiring My Generation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization on a mission towards suicide prevention through awareness, conversation, education, and support. Connect with us on Instagram at Inspiring My Generation and visit our website inspiringmygeneration.org to learn more about our work and how you can make a difference.